Hello everyone. So today we're going to talk about arrays in Python, and we've been using this in previous videos of ours, but today we'll specifically see about this topic and overview of it. And there will be introduction, array elements, which will include removal of elements, adding of elements, and also looping through the array and similar things. And then we'll have the array methods. So introduction. An array is a variable which can hold more than one value at a time. So in this example, you can see that we have cars as the variable name, and it is holding three different values over here: Ford, Volvo, and BMW. So if you want to store them differently, then you will have to use three variables and so on. But by using an array, you can store all of them in just one variable. And a point to note that Python does not have built-in support for arrays, but Python lists can be used instead, which will act similar to what arrays are supposed to mean. And array elements. So we can use the index number to access any array element. To access the first element, we can use the index 0. So cars of 0 over here, x will have the value 4 because it is our first element in this array. Now, length of an array, we can use the len command or the len function, and that will give you the length of the array. In this case, which we saw the example, there will be 3 because it has 3 elements. Then to modify any item in the array, you can simply use the index number and then just write the new value which you want to store in that index. So over here, the first item in the array will be replaced by Toyota. So earlier it was Ford, now it will become Toyota. Now looping through an array, it is pretty simple. So you take a for loop and then for x in cars, and you can simply do whatever operations required or simply print it. Now the length of an array is always one more than the highest array index. So it is more of a common sense, because if you see the index starts from 0, that is the first element will have index 0, and the last element, let's say the last element is of index 4, which means the length is 5 because you started from index 0. So index 0 is the first element. Similarly, index 4 is the fifth element, which means you will have 5 as the length, which is one more than the last array index. Now adding array element. So we can use the append method to add an element to an array. So if you want to add, if basically you're increasing the length of the array, you can use this method. Here's an example. So you can simply write cars.append and then you can add whichever element you want to. Now removing array elements, there are two methods by which you can do this. So one of them uses the index which you want to remove or the element stored in that index, and the other one is finding using the stored value. So the pop method is used to remove by index, and the remove method is used to remove that specific element. Now in this remove method, so it is possible that the array will have multiple duplicate values. So what happens then is that only the first encountered value will be removed. Let's say an array consists of Volvo written 3 times, and if you do cars.remove Volvo, only the first one will be removed. That means the array length will now be 2. Not all the Volvo elements will be removed. So we'll also see this when we see the sample code. So the array methods, we have append, which we just saw. Then there's a clear method which will remove all the elements from the list. So again, it is list over here because list is being used as array. So Python doesn't directly have an array support, but the list will perform same functions. Then we have copy method, the count method, extend method to add specific elements of a list or any other iterables. Then we have index method, which will give us the first index of the element which is found. Insert method, which adds an element at a specified position. We have the pop method, which we saw in this presentation. The remove method again, which we saw. The reverse method, which will reverse the order of the list or the array. and the sort method, which will directly sort the list. So that is it from the presentation. Now we'll see some sample code. So let us see the code, and we'll continue in the same file which you've been using for this series. So first let's just define a simple array, and we'll use the same one which was there in the presentation, so it will be easier to understand. We had Ford, we had Volvo, and BMW. Now I can just print this, print car, and it will print it for me. Now to access any element, simply let's say print cars of 0. This will access the first element, which is Ford, and it will print it. There we have Ford. To access the second element, we'll use cars 1, and this should print Volvo. Now that is about accessing the element. To see the length, we can simply write len and cars. This will give us 3. Now to modify any item in the array, let's say cars of 0, let's make Ford as Volvo again, and then I will print the whole array. So now we'll have Volvo, and BMW. So that is how you modify. Now if you want to loop through the items, let's say for X in cars and print X, this will print Volvo and BMW in new lines. So that was about looping through the array. Now to add an array element, we can use append, cars.append, and let's say Honda, and then again we'll print cars. So now the array length has been increased to 4, and Honda has been added at the end of the array. Now similarly, if you want to remove an element, so let's see, cars.pop. If I want to remove BMW, which is the third element, so its index is 2, so I'll do cars.pop2, and I'll just print cars. So BMW has been removed, and we have Volvo, and Honda. And there is another method which is remove, cars.remove. Now if I want to remove Volvo, so like I had mentioned in the presentation, it will find the first occurrence and only remove that. It won't remove both these Volvo. So it will only remove the first one, and then we'll have these two remaining. So we can try it out now. Print cars. So there we go, and the first occurrence has been removed and the latter two are printed. Now there are some other methods which we can see, maybe which we had discussed. So if you want to insert at a specified position, say cars.insert 1, say again BMW, and print cars. So BMW is inserted at index 1, which is the second position. So that is how the insert works when you want to insert it at a specific position. And there are a few more methods which you can go and try it out yourselves. These are all pretty basic ones, and this topic itself is a very simple one. So that's it from this video, and thank you for watching.